I've actually been really good friends with Parker since we were in ninth grade. We've grown up really close. We were the Four Horsemen, and Parker let me know that when he first started talking to Jill that he really, really liked this girl over line and everything, and that they've met a few times, and it's been like he just felt something about her. And then one day before he even got her the engagement ring, he got her a promise ring, and he showed us, and he was like, I'm sure she's the one.
How did you know Jill was dating the one?
One what?
The one.
Oh, Parker?
Yes.
She said they were dating. Yeah, no, first time I thought she might get married was whenever Mom said that Jill found a boyfriend, which just blew my mind. And then he was really cool, and especially when I met his family, I'd say that's when I kind of like got the idea that they were not just dating, I guess.
I was talking to Jill, and she said that he was the one, and that really took me by surprise, because before Parker, she was 100% anti-marriage, didn't want any kids, and so I know it really blindsided me, and it was a good blindside, a good surprise, but really blindsided me when she said that.
I was proud of him getting married and wanted to have Jill as part of our family because we love her dearly, and I'm very happy for the both of them.
I think first time I knew was, I would have to say when it was actually the first time I met Jill. We had gone to the movies to see the Cornetto trilogy, and Jill was just such an amazing person. It was the first time me and my now wife had met her, and I think I knew from that moment on that something was different. Like there was no girl before Jill that I thought he would end up with. Jill, I immediately knew that she was the one.
I would say the time I knew Jill was the one for Parker would have been the first time we met Jill. I had heard my son talk of Jill many times. And he finally said, Mom, Dad, I want you to meet Jill. So we went out to dinner, and it was quite obvious that he had very, very strong feelings for her. But in that same breath, it was quite obvious to us, my husband and I, that she was just starry-eyed when she was sitting across from our son. So you could kind of feel it in the room, and it was just, we kind of knew, and we waited. We waited patiently for them to just say they were dating. So that's pretty much when I knew.
I suppose that I knew that Parker was the one for Jill the very first night that I met him. When I saw the safety and the security that they had in each other, teasing and playful and little bitty cutesy little things that they did, but I knew she was safe, and I knew that he was safe. And in a relationship, that's just awesome. It's rare, it's awesome.
Always remember the most important thing is everybody's gonna argue. So the greatest thing to remember is it's not how harsh the storm is, it's how you navigate it, and that you make it out at the end. So you can fight all you want, as long as you remember at the end of the day that you two love each other more than anything, you will get through it all.
I think in the state of Arkansas, you can annul up to 45 days. That's for Parker, not Jill. Take a joke.
Communication, talking, is the most important part of any marriage that there is. Talk out any problem or any situation.
To always consider the other person's feelings before you speak. Your words can't be taken back, so consider how your words will make that person feel before you say them.
My piece of advice for them would be, for Jill and Parker, I would say, my husband and I always believe in building the foundation before you build the home. So you build the foundation, you nurture your relationship, you grow that friendship, and as your home builds, you still have that friendship and you do date nights. But most of all, we just remain true to each other and treat each other like you would want to be treated. Always be able to say I'm sorry and always be able to compromise, and just know that you never go to bed angry.
I'm not a good one to give advice, but I'm a mommy and I do anyway. And I will tell you, Parker and Jill, the one piece of advice that I would give you is to hang on to respect. It's not about feelings, and there are days when you won't feel like loving each other. There are days when you won't feel like laughing, but never, never, never on your worst day disrespect each other. Maintain that respect, because that's a constant, mindful objective. And as long as you respect each other, you can get through any situation, overcome any obstacle, and get through any time.
What I hope, and I think they will be, I think they will be on the road to creating their own family and building their own home, and creating that life for themselves. Whether it be children soon or children then is up to them, but I would hope that they would be somewhere where they were comfortable and they were building that foundation for themselves and just learning about being themselves together and being a couple and just having fun and enjoying life.
In a year, I think they're still going to be happily married. At that point, we probably moved out of Parker's parents' house, maybe even expecting. I know Parker doesn't want to have a child that soon, but Jill's gonna talk him into it. I know it.
A year from now, I see the two of you moving along on your little journey as husband and wife. In some ways, because you've been together for the last 4 years, I see the next year just being a continuation of your forever. I am excited as a mommy to get to be a part of your lives and to see where you are in a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years. I want a grandbaby. But other than that, we're good.
10 years, 12 kids, if Jill has her way, a few dogs and a couple Godzilla statues. But no, I see them, I'd hope they come back to the South, but I think they're pretty happy up in New York. And I see Jill kind of ruling the furniture world and Parker right there beside her, taking down everything that comes in their path.
What is your fondest memory with your sister?
Okay. She was at Henderson State, and I was in like 10th grade, I think, 9th, 10th grade. It was the first day of Christmas break for me. And to wake me up, she comes in and and it's like 9 in the morning. I'm super tired. She just comes and like jumps on my bed, she's like shaking me around and everything like that. And then I was trying to push her off, and she bit me, and I had a bite mark for like a week on my arm from where she bit me.
One of my favorite memories of Parker is we once went to a haunted house together, the Headless Horseman Ranch. Now, we went as a big group, and of course Parker chose me, the smallest of the group, to hide behind, because that makes a whole lot of sense. And he got really scared when the dude revved the chainsaw and threw me into him and broke my nose on the guy's chainsaw. But Parker got out of there in one piece and was perfectly fine, so we're good.
So one of the things I cherish is when we were doing the theater productions together, I especially remember our trip to Conway. She was doing hers her freshman year, and she was doing trying to become a stage manager up in Conway for their Shakespeare festival. And that was kind of the start of our friendship. We decided we were taking our career kind of path seriously together, and we enjoyed working with each other. So I really cherish how well we worked off each other, especially in the theater, and how we always had each other's back, and we were ready to do whatever was needed to get the show on the road. All right, so my earliest memory of the bride, I want to say it was her freshman year at Henderson. She was the assistant stage manager for the Winx shows that we were doing, and I was a cast member, and it was dress rehearsal night. We're all backstage, and she just comes in. No one really knows who she is, and just starts throwing out instructions, yelling at people, telling people where to be, getting places. And I remember all like, who the hell is this? But she knew her shit, and she got things done.
My proud moment for Jill and I is probably not one moment, but several moments. It's when I first realized her love for the theater was going to be the culmination of a dream, and that she was heading off to New York. And I told her at that time to always follow her dream and never let that go. And last of all, sweetheart, don't forget to dance.
She came and spent a few days with me before she started college, and then I took a drive and took her back home, and just spending that time with her, and I made her a dress, a simple little dress with some fabric I had, and it was just kind of a sweet time with her. My husband and I built a playhouse, a life-size playhouse for our grandkids to play in, and Jill and Cheston actually flew in from North Carolina, and my other grandkids from St. Louis came down, and they all spent a week with me and played in the playhouse, and we bought groceries for it, and they slept in it one night. And that's a really cherished memory for me with Jill and Cheston and Bryce and all the other grandkids. That week that we spent, and they played in that little playhouse. And Jill, I saw in her the little homemaker that she was, because she was all about the yard and the little furniture and everything in that playhouse. She thoroughly enjoyed that.
I first met Parker in the freshman center of Ramapo High School. I actually met him. We used to all go into the cafeteria when we first got there at school, and I remember that for the first 6 months I knew him, he was actually afraid of me because I was the goth kid in the school, and everybody was afraid of me. But after he got to know me, we ended up being best friends, and I've known him ever since.
I don't even know if this would be like all over hilarious, kind of funny, but I know when I was there in June or July for that class break, the one thing I really liked and that we all laughed a lot about was we put in this horror movie called like Creature from the Slime or something, and we just drank while we watched it and laughed and shot the shit, and it was just a really good night.
I just cherish our relationship. I've had him over at my house since very early age. I've shared many times with him. We've talked very nicely. I just love our relationship.
Well, me and the groom used to always have sleepovers at least once a week at one point. And we would stay up all night watching every horror movie I could possibly pull out of my collection or my dad's. And I think the funniest story happens to be the night we tried to reenact the Silent Hill movie and make our own movie. Didn't work out very well, but we were all in it. It was Joe, Parker, me, and Katie, the Four Horsemen.